Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell y'all something tonight from the bottom of my soul, because I know some of you been lying awake, wondering if that man still thinks about you, if he still feels what you feel, if he even notices your absence. You sitting there asking yourself, if he misses me, why don't he say it? A man who truly misses you won't always say it out loud, but his routine will change. And you'll feel his energy chasing your presence even in his silence. See, when a man has had a real woman in his life, the kind that added to his peace, the kind that brought calm into his chaos, the kind that didn't nag but nurtured, that kind of woman doesn't just walk out of his life without leaving a crack in his routine. And it's subtle at first. You might not catch it if you're looking for big drama or bold moves, but trust me, baby, the shift is real. It's the little things that change first. Like how he used to hit the gym with energy, now he dragging his feet through the reps. Like he used to play his music loud in the car, now it's turned down low. Like he thinking too much and vibing too little. It's how he walks into the house and sits in silence, because your voice used to be there filling the gaps. And now the quiet cuts him deeper than any goodbye ever could see. Men don't like admitting when they hurting. They don't rush to their boys crying or writing in journals. No, they suffer in ways you can't always see. But if you knew him well, if you studied his rhythm while you were together, you'll see the beat's been thrown off. He used to be predictable. He had patterns. He had places he went, things he did, people he saw. But now he floating out of rhythm, like his soul trying to find something that ain't there anymore. And that you became part of the song, and when you're gone, the melody don't sound the same. And what's wild is he might not even fully understand what's happening inside him. He might think it's stress. He might blame it on work, on life, on bad sleep. But deep down, it's the ache of a missing presence, the absence of peace he didn't even realize he had until you weren't around no more. Now he's scrolling through his phone, not even to call you, but just looking at your name in the contacts, debating if he should hit send. He typed something out, then delete it, then type it again, then lock the phone and throw it face down, because reaching out means opening up that wound he thought he could cover up with distractions. And some of y'all thinking, well, if he missed me so bad, why don't he just say it, baby? You asking the wrong question. It's not about what he says. It's about how he lives without you. And right now he living like a man out of alignment, trying to move forward, but stuck in reverse, because you were the only thing that helped him feel centered. And now he's stumbling in that silence he thought would bring him peace. Watch how he starts showing up online more than usual. Not saying much, but watching everything, especially you. He might not comment, he might not like, but he watching your stories 3 times, clicking your page, like it's the only place he can still feel close to you. It's not just about curiosity, it's about a man trying to feel your presence without the pain of rejection. It's about a man who used to have access and now has distance, and that gap between the two is messing with his mind. See, women miss you out loud. They cry, they talk, they write, they vent. Men miss you in silence, in isolation, in distractions, in confusion, in bad decisions, in the moments when they realize nobody else gives them that feeling you gave. And maybe he still goes to that restaurant y'all used to love. Maybe he sits in that same booth, not because he's hungry, but because he's starving for familiarity, for memory, for the echo of your laughter across that table. Maybe he still wear that cologne you used to compliment, hoping some part of your spirit still lingers in the air when he puts it on. Maybe he still keep that old playlist with songs y'all loved, but he skipped those tracks now because hearing them hurts, and yet he won't delete them either because deleting them feels like losing you all over again. That's what I'm saying. When a man really misses you, silence becomes his language. Pattern becomes his poem. Behavior becomes his confession. He don't talk about it, but it's all over him. And sometimes his boys notice too. They'll say stuff like, "You good, man?" And he'll be like, yeah, I'm just tired. Tired is the new heartbroken. Tired is the cover up for, I can't stop thinking about her. Tired is code for, she left and I don't know how to fix what I broke. You'll see it in the way he starts trying to find you in other women, not directly, not intentionally, but in those little comparisons that creep into his mind. This one don't laugh like you did. That one don't listen the way you used to. This one don't challenge him like you could. That one don't speak life into him like you always did. He's missing you in his expectations now. And nobody quite fits the mold because the mold was custom, made by your love, your energy, your presence. He's not going to come out and say, "I miss you," because saying that means admitting he messed up, admitting he can't replace you, admitting he's not as strong without you as he pretended to be. And for a man, that level of vulnerability, that's a war with the ego. And when the ego's loud, the truth stays quiet. So you won't hear it from his lips, but you'll feel it in his orbit. He's still orbiting around you, still watching, still wondering, still walking around with that look in his eye, like he's searching for something he already had and let slip away. It might even try to run into you accidentally on purpose, at the store, at mutual events, places you both use to frequent. He hoping to see you, hoping to smell your perfume, hoping your eyes meet his, and maybe, just maybe, something sparks again. Even if he don't say a word, his presence there is screaming what his pride won't let him voice. He there for a reason, and that reason is you. He trying to get a taste of what he lost without fully confessing that he wants it back. When a man is silently missing you, his world feels incomplete without your essence, and he starts gravitating toward the places, people, and memories that remind him of you. See, ladies, y'all think men just move on like they walk away and never look back, but let me break the truth to you straight. A man can try to pretend he fine. He can go hang out with his boys. He can act unbothered, but deep down, he's slowly orbiting back toward everything that ever made him feel whole. And if you were that peace in his chaos, that calm in his storm, then baby, you better believe he's circling back to the memory of you like a man chasing his own shadow. He don't always know how to deal with that feeling, especially when the one thing that grounded him is no longer answering the phone or sending those "I'm checking on you" texts. He might be surrounded by people but still feel like he alone in a crowded room because it ain't the people he miss, it's the one person who made his presence feel like purpose. You see, a real man who once had a woman that built him up, who gave him encouragement when the world tore him down, who reminded him of his greatness when he doubted himself, that man don't forget her spirit just because the relationship ended. That kind of woman becomes part of his inner compass, and when she's gone, he starts moving without direction. He might not say it, but he feels lost. He might try to distract himself with noise, but none of it drowns out the quiet space where her voice used to be. You'll notice how he slowly starts returning to old places like your favorite coffee shop or the park y'all used to walk in, not because he just randomly had a craving for a cappuccino or a sudden need to walk laps, but because he's trying to relive fragments of your presence. He sits there sipping that drink, hearing your laughter echo in his head, remembering the way you used to talk about your dreams while staring at the sky. And what's crazy is he might act like it's coincidence if y'all cross paths. They're like, oh, hey, I didn't even know you'd be here. But don't fall for it. He knew exactly where to go because your memory led him there. He might even start hanging around mutual friends more often. Now people he didn't used to talk to like that. He asking them how they doing, but really he fishing for information about you. He won't ask outright, but he'll find a way to steer the conversation toward your name. Like, yo, have you heard from her? And when they say something simple, like she's doing good, he's gonna nod his head like it ain't fazing him. But on the inside, he's hanging on to every word like it's gospel, because he just trying to stay connected to you through somebody else. And then you got the memory triggers, things that randomly hit him throughout the day and pull him back to you, like that song y'all used to listen to in the car. He hear it on the radio and suddenly he got a lump in his throat, or that food you loved, he smell it, and for a moment, he's back in your kitchen watching you cook barefoot and smiling like you weren't holding the whole world together for him with your love and your care. See, memories become his medicine and his torment, all in one. He reaching for them because they comfort him, but they sting too because they remind him what he let go. He might keep that one picture of you tucked away, not on social media, not in plain sight, but somewhere he can pull it up late at night when the weight of missing you gets too heavy. And don't be surprised if he still got a few of your things. Not because he forgot to return them, but because returning them would mean closing the door all the way. And baby, he ain't ready to shut no doors. He hoping one day you'll come back looking for that jacket, those earrings, that book you left on his shelf, and when you do, maybe that'll be his second chance. You got to understand that men are taught to be tough, to move on quick, to act like nothing phases them, but when he's really missing you, when he genuinely felt something deep for you, that silence becomes louder than any words he could speak. He might not know how to say, I miss you, but he'll start trying to relive the chapters of your story together. He'll revisit your text threads, scroll through old photos, even read old birthday cards just to feel close to you again. And he doing it all quietly in the shadows, because showing it out loud would mean being vulnerable. And men don't like being vulnerable unless they absolutely have to be. He might start doing things he never did before when y'all were together, like taking sudden interest in things you loved, like reading those self-help books you used to recommend, or watching that show you always begged him to try. It's not random, it's him trying to understand you better now that you're gone. It's him realizing too late that maybe those little things you love were actually big parts of who you were. And now he clinging to those pieces like they clues to getting you back. Even in conversation with others, he starts repeating your phrases, quoting your advice, referencing something you once said like it was the wisest thing he ever heard. And people will notice that too. They'll say, man, you sound just like her. And he'll laugh it off. But inside, he's proud, because holding on to your words is the closest thing he got to holding on to you. And here's what you got to know. A man who misses you silently is a man who regrets deeply but loves quietly. He knows he messed up, or maybe he just knows what he lost was rare. And now he out in this world trying to find that same kind of soul connection, and he can't, because it don't exist twice in the same form. It don't show up in another smile, another voice, another face. It was you. And the more he searches, the more he realizes he had what he didn't even fully appreciate. So he drifts back into memory. He recreates your energy in moments that don't have you anymore. He sits in silence trying to remember your scent, your warmth, your wisdom, and that's how he shows it. That's how he says, I miss you, without ever picking up the phone. That's how a man moves when your spirit is still a part of his day, even when your presence isn't. Even without words, his actions will whisper his longing. Watch for the repeated views, the accidental likes, the random check-ins, the unspoken signs that he's still holding on. See when a man is missing you, but his pride is too loud to let the words come out his mouth? His behavior starts to become a silent translator for everything he's feeling but won't admit. And the thing about men is, when they can't say it, they start to show it in ways they think are slick. But baby, if you watching close enough, you'll hear everything he's not saying loud and clear. And I ain't talking about no grand gestures or dramatic apologies. I'm talking about the small, quiet signals that only someone who knows his rhythm would notice. How he suddenly shows up online every time you post something like clockwork. His name pops up on that viewer list. Even if he don't engage, you start seeing his presence orbiting yours again, like gravity pulling him back to what he once had but didn't hold on to. It's in those accidental likes he leaves behind on old photos, like he scrolled a little too far back on your page and tapped without thinking. But baby, let me tell you something. Ain't no grown man just scrolling through your pictures from 6 months ago at 2:43 a.m. unless he's digging through your timeline, trying to feel close to you again. And that accidental like, that's a slip up, that's a soft scream from his heart, trying to get your attention without fully confessing what he feels he might unlike it real quick, but not before you see it. Not before your heart skips that beat and you think, now why is he over there lurking in the past when he told me he moved on? You see him trying to play cool, but then he starts pumping up at places you go. Maybe he shows up at your church or that brunch spot your friends always tag you in on their stories. He acting surprised, like, oh, I didn't know you came here. But deep down, he knew exactly where you'd be. And he hoped to God he'd bump into you by accident on purpose so he could catch a glimpse of you looking good, glowing without him, and maybe, just maybe, remind you that he still exists in your atmosphere. He trying to place himself back in your world without directly asking for entry again. He starts texting out the blue, not deep messages, not confessions, but those random check-ins like, hey, just thought of you, hope you're good, or I saw something today that reminded me of you. Baby, let me tell you something right now. If a man is thinking about you enough to text you something seemingly casual, it ain't casual at all. That's courage trying to sneak past his ego and send you a message. His heart been screaming every night he laying in bed, staring at the ceiling, because when he missing you silently, he'll test the waters. He'll throw out little lines just to see if you'll respond. He ain't trying to dive all the way in, because rejection would crush him. But he want to know if the door is still cracked open just enough for hope to slip through. And sometimes it ain't even about the digital stuff. Sometimes it's how he carries himself around. Mutual people you might hear from a friend that he been asking about you. Or somebody tells you, he said you crossed his mind the other day. And that might not seem like much to the average person, but when a man goes out of his way to keep your name in the conversation, that's because your memory ain't sitting quietly in his head no more. It's walking around, it's pacing, it's knocking on the walls of his mind every day, and now it's starting to spill out into the world around him. You might notice how he starts acting different too. Maybe when y'all were together, he didn't show much emotion, didn't open up as much, but now you see him reposting quotes about love, about heartbreak, about growth and pain. Now he out here sharing his feelings through lyrics and memes, low-key hoping you see it and feel what he can't say directly. It's like he's using the internet to speak to you without tagging you, hoping you read in between the lines and catching the messages written in silence. And he's watching you too closely for it to be coincidence. He sees when you cut your hair. He notices the way you caption your photos. He knows when your vibe shifts. And even if he ain't reacting to it online, he reacting to it in real life. Maybe he starts hitting the gym again. Maybe he cleaning himself up, dressing better, talking different. And y'all be thinking it's self-improvement season. But half the time, it's cause he hoping you'll see the change. Hoping you'll remember the old him and see a better version rising out of that heartbreak dust. Like a man trying to earn your glance again without having to ask for it. And don't think just because he's smiling that he ain't hurting sometimes. That smile is a mask, a front, something he puts on because the world told him to be strong, but his actions betray him. He avoiding certain songs, avoiding certain places, avoiding certain topics because they all bring him back to you. And when a man starts dodging the things that remind him of you, that's not healing, that's haunting. That means he still got you living rent-free in a heart he said was moving on. And late at night when nobody watching, that's when the truth creeps in. He goes through old messages, reading your words, reading his replies, seeing all the things he should have said but didn't. He might even start writing you a text in his notes app, trying to draft the perfect thing to say if he ever got the courage to hit send. But most of the time, he never does. It stays in his phone, unsent, unread, unspoken, but real. Because men don't always process pain out loud. They do it in memories, in the pauses between sentences, when they talking to someone else but think about you. He might say your name by accident. He might bring up a story involving you like it happened yesterday because to him, it still feels like yesterday. And the truth is, when a man really misses you, he's going to show it in ways that don't look obvious. He's not going to pour his heart out in a romantic comedy type of way, but his silence will be laced with signs. His behavior will stutter around your memory, and his routine will trip over the places you used to occupy in his life. So while he out there trying to convince the world that he's doing just fine, just watch closely, because his actions will always betray what his mouth is too scared to say. And if you're looking with the eyes of someone who once knew his soul, you'll hear every silent scream, every unspoken "I miss you," every quiet plea for one more moment, one more chance, one more day with the woman who had